Welcome to the first module of a series of learning opportunities related to the supporting living services. This module will include an introduction to supported living services and also a basic overview of the process. Throughout the course of this learning, we will be discussing 6 different modules. As noted here, Module 1 is an introduction and process overview. Module 2 is an overview of the referral process, which initiates the referral to the supported living services provider. Module 3 is about assessment completion and review the process the supported living services provider uses to complete the assessment tool. Module 4 is the assessment review, which is an overview of the process in which the support coordinators review the assessment information submitted by the provider. Module 5 is about rate calculation. This provides an overview of how the rate is derived from the assessment completion. And finally, Module 6 is about the rate review process, which reviews the process in which a rate is reviewed after the initial assessment completion. First, let's talk about person-centered planning. Person-centered planning is a process of putting the person at the center of their care planning and ensuring we are supporting them to drive the decisions and determine their plan to the extent possible. Person-centered planning is an approach to organizing your supports and services so that you can live the kind of life you want for yourself. As we think about supported living services, this can be a very creative way to assist people in meeting their community living goals. Supported living services is a wraparound service designed to meet planned and unplanned needs of a person living in their own home. The service is paid out at a daily rate in order for the provider to meet all of the needs and goals and includes a 24-hour response in the event something unplanned arises. Supported living services combines those services typically paid out individually, such as personal care, supportive home care, home delivered meals, community integration, etc., into one authorization and rate. This service is unique in that the provider moves away from the typical schedules they are used to a more flexible model that ebbs and flows with each individual's daily needs and goals. It continues to be paid out at a daily rate, regardless of whether the person receives services each day. Again, this is to ensure any unplanned needs can be addressed. Per the waiver definition, supported living services are those services that include training and assistance in maintaining a home of one's own, a residence not owned or controlled by a waiver service provider, or a residence that is not the home of a family caregiver. The home may be shared with other freely chosen housemates who may or may not also receive waiver services and or have a disability. Supported living services are provided with the goal of maximizing the person's independence and interdependence with housemates and natural supports, using a combination of teaching, training, technology, and facilitation of natural supports. Natural supports are unpaid people who help in some ways, big or small, to support the hopes, goals, and needs of a person. These people are usually friends, relatives, or acquaintances from the community in which the person lives. Although natural supports are unpaid, they are a critical component to support a person-centered plan, and the support coordinator's role is to help ensure those systems and supports stay in place. This holds true with the supported living services as well. As mentioned previously, sometimes people have unexpected things come up in their life. Usually, when this happens, natural supports are able to assist. The goal is always to maximize natural supports, and the same is true when we are looking at a wraparound service like supported living services. In this case, the supported living services provider will account for and document a natural support is assisting with an identified goal or need. If for some reason the natural support is unable to no longer support the need or goal or becomes temporarily unavailable, the supported living services provider can step in and assist because this was part of the bigger plan. Per the waiver definition, supported living services are those services that include training and assistance in maintaining a home of one's own, a residence not owned or controlled by a waiver service provider, or a residence that is not the home of a family caregiver. The home may be shared with other freely chosen housemates who may or may not also receive waiver services and/or have a disability. Supported living services are provided with the goal of maximizing the person's independence and interdependence with housemates and natural supports using a combination of teaching, training, technology, and facilitation of natural supports. Each module will go into more detail about how the process works and how to complete the documentation. But first, let's start with a basic understanding of how the process will work. The process starts with the referral and assessment to the provider. The referral is completed by the support coordinator, and the assessment is completed by the provider with the person. Once the assessment is completed, it will outline the person's needs and goals and will derive a rate based on the assessment tool. The provider may also provide a rate in which they would like to see. Once the assessment is received by the support coordinator, they will review the assessment for accuracy and offer the rate to the provider. Because the provider may have offered a rate themselves, the assessment tool rate is seen as a cap, and the support coordinator will offer only up to the cap. Here is a snapshot of what the supported living assessment, referral, and rate schedule tool is and what it looks like. This is a tool we will be learning about in depth in the upcoming modules. Since this module is a basic overview of the assessment tool, let's get a sense of what the next few modules will entail. The Instructions tab here provides detailed instructions on how to complete the assessment. The Referral tab is completed by support coordinators to initiate the referral. The Assessment tab is completed by the supported living services provider. The Rate Schedule tab automatically calculates the rate to be offered to the provider based on information from the assessment. And lastly, the Inputs tab shows the detailed rate tables and calculations. This concludes this module. Please review the additional modules for continued learning. Thank you.